മൊഴിയായി തിരകളിലേറി മലയാളത്തിൻ മൊഴിയൊഴുകും വഴിയും ഒഴുകാമൊഴിയായി തിരകളിലേറി മലയാളത്തിൻ മൊഴിയൊഴുകും വഴി പടരാം പവിഴക്കരയും താണ്ടി നാദരാഗമായി Radio Rang, color your life. ഒഴുകാമൊലിയായി തിരകളിലേറി മലയാളത്തിൻ മൊഴിയൊഴുകും വഴിയും ഒഴുകാമൊലിയായി തിരകളിലേറി മലയാളത്തിൻ മൊഴിയൊഴുകും വഴി പടരാം പവിഴക്കരയും താണ്ടി നാദരാഗമായി Radio Rang, color your life.
Warm good evening to all the viewers. This is Radio Rang FB live program, Unigrad Education Center away from campus. Radio Rang is an audio-visual media with a different vision. I am Amrita Ravi, a teacher at Al-Noor International School, Kingdom of Bahri. We believe that today's students are our tomorrow's future. You can see that our students are in various positions. What made them successful? Yes, all of you agree that our parents or teachers or some well-wishers must be guided them to be what they are now. Yes, we have an educationalist who believes that school is the right platform to give the foundation to build their career. He is Mr. Anand Nair, Vice Principal, the Indian School, Kingdom of Bahrain. Good evening, Anand sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So today's session is Wise Career Options. Let me begin from you. How did you choose this career and when did you choose this career? Could you please explain about that?
My career choice was very clear right from my school days. I was very sure that I am born or I wanted only to be a teacher. So I did not want into, of course it was wavering right from the start, like, initially I had the thought of becoming a doctor, but then looking at the family situation and all those, the money involved into it and all that, like I said, but then the passion for teaching, I had some of the best teachers in my school and they inspired me to become a teacher. So I was very sure that I will be into this teaching profession only.
Same situation for me also. Childhood onwards, my ambition was to become a teacher, and I'm a teacher, and especially mathematics subject. So I'm a mathematics teacher now. The same situation, because it's not by choice. Today I introduced you as Mr. Anand Nair. When can I introduce you as Dr. Anand Nair?
Well, the transition from Mr. to Doctor will take some time. I am on the verge of completing my PhD, almost done. I have submitted my thesis. The only final Viva is left, which because of the pandemic situation, the university has not yet scheduled it. Hopefully very soon. It has been a long journey. I took almost 16 years to complete it. In fact, I can write a book on that. I can better write a book how not to do your PhD, like, what are the things which you should not do when you do your PhD. Because, it has been a very lengthy process for me. But now, God's grace, things are falling into place and everything is going as per the plan now. As soon as some positive things about the pandemic comes, I'll be able to go, my Viva will be scheduled and I'll be able to complete that hopefully quickly.
Very good. Just now into teaching field, as well as you are the Vice Principal. So do you teach any class?
Yeah, I have. I take classes still.
Okay. So you like teaching?
Yeah, that is one of the, because that is what defines me. That is who I am. That's my self-expression, being in the classroom, So I'm into an administrative role, but teaching along with teaching. So I'm continuing both of them, and I'm passionate about teaching.
Which area you specialize?
I
in your
am an
PhD?
accounts teacher, accountancy teacher.
Okay.
And that's the area where I have been teaching for all these years. In fact, I have been teaching business studies and into life management skills at the Polytechnic College also. But then basically right now I'm teaching with accountancy as a subject.
Okay. So, and your PhD?
My PhD is into commerce.
Commerce.
Yeah.
Okay. Not the education, PhD in education.
No, this is
something like that.
PhD is related to commerce. That is related to a business module. I mean, it is related to a software development into a business module.
Business. So it will be like a regular course or?
It's a
what
regular
is-
course.
It's
I mean,
a-
yeah.
So how did you manage your working atmosphere as well as your?
Whenever, I mean, that's the reason it is taking long, because there have been specific modules by which, they will have to work on. So all these modules, unless and I complete, my submission was not possible. So all these modules I have been completing, and it took a long time because of, I'm teaching and here and so it is taking time because of that. But thankfully now everything has come down to almost the final point where I have submitted my thesis and it has been approved also.
When did you decide to take a PhD? Because after a long time, usually after your MCom, you could have taken. And what is the reason for taking PhD now?
No, my dreams of starting PhD is, going for PhD started in 2002 itself. Since then I have been meeting guides. I have met various university professors, various guides across. In fact, I have gone across to 6 to 7 universities. And almost 4 topics I have changed, and this is the final topic I have come down to, in fact. So it has been quite a research into PhD itself.
Did your parents influence you to choose this career?
No, my parents were not very particular about whatever career I select. Luckily, they were never insisting on that because, in my family, I'm the first graduation. I'm the first graduate in the family. So maybe the first generation, who has completed a graduation. That's all. So they were very clear. Whatever I do, they are fine as long as I'm happy with it, or as long as there is no issue coming around. So they were not very keen or particular about a particular career that I need to be a this or that. No, nothing like that.
You are very good at this field. We have seen your keen insights, clear vision towards the educational field. You can contribute many things. Actually, we are lucky to get you in Bahrain. Children are very much benefited, and we can utilize that.
Thank you. That's big. I have gone through a training process, a very rigorous training process. Me and my wife together, we have been through a very tough training process.
She is also doing PhD.
Yes, she is also doing a PhD. And it has been a thorough management skills. We were trained into different aspects of psychology. We were trained into different aspects of management. So it was almost 6 to 7 years of training, and though that training period had been with different organizations and different associations, we had an excellent group of like-minded people and friends who came together. So that training actually helped us. It spanned across 5 to 6 years of our life.
Okay. So are both of you taking in the same subject or different subjects?
In fact, she is into economics and business studies, and that's her subject areas.
Okay.
But basically it's commerce, but then she has done her economics masters also and English masters also.
Okay.
So that's her subject as such.
So will be there any discussion at home regarding this? It will be helpful to submit the thesis or something like that at home?
Of course, that always helps us when you have a helping hand at home that way.
Okay. Today our aim is to enrich about career. We have to give advice to our students. Not advice, that's why we called youngsters. When we teachers tell, it will be an advice. So when the youngsters tell to their juniors, it will be very much benefited. So one of the Indian school students, she is doing her internship now. She is online. Since she is doing her internship, she sent a video. So let us watch that video. Malavika Ram
Good
Gopal.
evening all. My name is Dr. Malavika Ram Gopal, and I've been asked to talk about why I chose my career and what led for the same. So before starting, let me hope all of you in Bahrain are doing safe and sound and are doing well. And okay, a little about myself. I studied up to my 10th grade in Bahrain in Indian school, and after that I left the island to pursue MBBS. So for preparations I left, and the journey was tedious obviously because it was when I came to India when I left, it was a cultural shock honestly, because cultural shock, parents are not around. Your party is like a very close-knitted family, right? So all that was gone and I was in the outer world. So it was very difficult for me to cope up. And, but with willpower, I think you will reach where you really want to, because you keep everything aside and you know where what really you want to be, and you just focus on that and then you reach your goal. And before that, I just need to talk about how I got into this, okay? Like what really led me into taking up MBBS. So my family is not a doctor family as such. It's not my immediate family. My grandfather was a doctor, and my, second cousins and third cousins, they're all doctors. But more than that, like most of the people, even I thought like being a doctor, you have more opportunity to serve. It's not like other professions don't, and anybody can serve for that matter. But I felt I have an upper hand being a doctor to provide service for the society. And it's not just that, like see, till my 8th grade, I had very wavering thoughts about what I had to be. I want to be a scientist, I want to be a physicist, I wanted to be a soldier, like whatnot. But then I think over time, when you discover what exactly your aptitude is, because by the time you're in maybe 9th or 10th grade, you will know, okay, I'm good at math, I'm good at science, I'm good at business, So that way you will have an idea, a fair idea about what exactly you could do with your life. So I knew I was good at science, but I was very skeptical. I did not know, like, okay, whether I should be a doctor or anything. But maybe from my 8th, 9th grade onwards, I understood, like, okay, maybe I think I'm doing better in this field of biology, so fine, why not? And also I always wanted to help people, especially when I have come to India for breaks. I've seen people, like, I've heard a lot of stories how people was denied treatment, or, I know that's how the system works, but at that point I was like, no, I have to make a difference. I just don't want people to not get what they deserve. So that was the main thing why I took up MBBS. And my parents have never been so, inflicting for that matter, like you have to take this, or this is what you're supposed to be. They have been so supportive about whatever I wanted to be. And my dad, for that matter, probably most of you might be knowing Ram Gopal Menon. He is my role model. Like maybe he's not a doctor, but his work ethics is first class. Seriously, like I have learned a lot from him. Whatever the profession is, if you put your heart and soul and if you're dedicated, you can give your 100%, and that's what matters. And I think the credit goes to my dad, because that's what matters end of the day. And yes, my mother, my brother, all of them, like, that's what, they have never told me, like, this is what you're supposed to take in your life, or this is what you need. But they have supported me. They also understood, okay, probably I have aptitude for this. And throughout, let me tell you, if it were not to be my family, I don't know, I would have reached where I am. And I'm very, obliged, and I'm very thankful to God, for giving me such a very supportive family. That is one thing. So that is very, very essential, I feel. And one more thing I wanted to address is, please do not take up MBBS because you're under pressure, because I know it is a very sophisticated or a very respected job. See, as far as I'm concerned, I think all jobs are noble, all jobs are respected, because, you need that person to do that job, otherwise it's not going to function, whatever it is. But since the society demands so, you might think, okay, being a doctor is, okay, I have an upper hand in the society. Do not take it up because of that. Please do not. Because it's a very tedious thing. As in, I'm not saying it's difficult, but it is, you need a lot of faith in yourself. You need a lot of willpower. You need a lot of things going on in your head. You need to keep yourself sorted in order to sail through this. Which is, again, I'm saying not difficult if you have the passion for it. But if somebody else is telling you, please do it, I don't really think it will be as easy for you, because it's ton loads to study. It's very interesting, let me tell you, it's a very beautiful subject. My journey so far has been very beautiful, but it's because I like the subject. And I've seen people around me who are not as interested, who came or gave in due to a lot of other pressures. They did not do that well. So understand what your aptitude is first, okay? Like what you are good at. I'm just not talking for MBBS or anything for that matter. Just understand what your aptitude is and just work on it. We all have, certain things which we are good at. Maybe it's art. Art is very good. It could be commerce. It could be humanities. Whatever it is, just focus on what you think you're good at. And end of the day, you all have to be happy. So I am very happy and I am very grateful to God for being where I am today. And it's been a wonderful journey, seriously. And I don't know, I hope this video helped you guys and whoever wanted to hear this. And I really hope you have a good day. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Malavika Ramgopal. I am very proud to address you as Dr. Malavika Ramgopal. All the viewers, you can post your questions on FB page. Sir, here I noticed 3-4 things. I met her when she was in grade 8, if I remember correctly. In one class, I asked, what is your ambition? She told, I want to be a cardiologist. Normally children will tell, I want to be a doctor. So first time I am hearing from a girl, I want to be a cardiologist. She was very specific and she worked for it. And second thing, she told that parents did not influence her to take MBBS. And there was a cultural shock after she joins in grade 11 because she born and brought up here in Bahrain. Then for the entrance, she joined in Kerala. So regarding that, after 10th, which will be the best thing? Here to continue in her grade 11 and 12, generally for the students, grade 11 and 12, to continue here in Bahrain or in Middle East, or better to be in India or wherever, the best. What's your view on this aspect?
Well, Dr. Malavika had actually put it across in a very beautiful way. And what I could see from what she spoke was that, and she's very passionate about her profession, what she is about. And each career is all about passion. Like career and hobby both are two different things. But career is about passion. If you are passionate about what you are doing, you will excel in every form of it. And coming to your question whether continuing 11th and class 11th and 12th in the Middle East is beneficial or going to India is beneficial, today or tomorrow they will have to shift in case, nowadays medical options are available here in Bahrain also. Very good options are available now. But then in case children want to shift, there is no problem in shifting after class 10th or no issue in shifting after 12. It is up to the child or the readiness of the child to adapt to that situation. So sometimes even after shifting after class 12, the child may not be able to adapt, or even after shifting after class 10, the child will not be able to adapt. The child has to be prepared right from the start. Cultural shocks happen when we are not ready for a particular aspect of life, But then when a child moves out from here, the child as well as the parent, you need to know that the child will be away or the parents will not be there with the child. So that's where we should be ready for all those cultural shocks that are coming up. We should train our mind accordingly. So I don't find any difference when the child moves out of from here after 10th or after 12th. But the process will be easier for the child to adapt because it will be the child will have a lot of time if it is after 10th. But absolutely for children who are mentally strong and tough to face the challenge, no issues.
Okay. Then regarding aptitude, how we can identify whether the child has the right aptitude towards that field?
There are so many aspects spoken about aptitude and this aptitude test and all that. But then the aptitude of children keeps on changing. I have seen it changes over time. Sometimes, like you ask a small kid, what do you want to be, doctor? Next month he'll ask you what you want to be, he'll say engineer. Then he'll say what do you want to be, then he'll say I want to be a police officer or something like that. It keeps on changing. And maybe one test cannot determine what the child is good at. Give the child the time. Give the child that sufficient time to think over and let the child decide on his or her aptitude rather than one hour test or 3 hour test. That could be only a parameter. I have known students who have come out best in aptitude test to select a particular profession, but they did not select that. They entered another profession, they have excelled there. I have known students who have selected profession based on aptitude test, but they did not excel there. So anything can happen. It's all a matter of how strong you are and how committed you are towards that particular passion which you take it.
Sometimes parents have to help the child because sometimes they will tell that I don't know what, just after grade 10 usually will ask which stream you are going to take. I did not decide. Or after 12th, what are you going to do? I don't know. In such cases, how can we help?
Indecision is a big aspect. When we select a career, a lot of are very indecisive. We are not very sure what to do. So we leave it to chance. Those who leave it to chance also survive in the world. Those who leave it to chance, tomorrow everything will be a chance for them. It just happened, you know. I know a friend of mine, you know, who wrote the CA entrance exam. When I wrote the CA entrance exam along with me, all of us cleared, you know, I mean, together we were 23 who wrote the CA entrance exam together, and all of us cleared. Of course, many of us, including me, we did not pursue CA, but then he passed CA by mistake, entrance exam by mistake he wrote. Then he said, since I have passed CA entrance examination, let me join for IPCC at the next level. He joined for IPCC, and what happened is that in the first attempt he passed. And he said, you know, I passed IPCC also by mistake. He went to internship, he cleared it, final, and he became a CA by mistake, you know. So he left everything to chance. He had never decided anything. So I have such friends also, and he's thriving in Bombay. He's one of the best CAs there in Bombay. You know.
The scenario is sometimes in hostel, those who repeat entrance. Parents compelling them to go for MBBS. Actually, children are not interested. In such cases, it is very difficult to adapt the situation and to cope up with the situation. And after they enroll for MBBS, then it is very difficult for them. In such cases, how can we counsel parents?
This is a particular mindset that needs to change. We need a paradigm shift over there. I mean, it is for those parents to understand that, you know, it is not medicine alone as a profession that is the only profession in the world. And some of them actually want their children to do what they have not done. So they want their children to be doctors because they were not doctors, you know. So that is not the issue. The child has to learn and go through the process now. The parent has already completed their, you know, career. So the child has to go and learn through the process. I was looking at certain research materials. In fact, it is very sad to note that almost a student commits suicide in India every hour. And majority of the suicides are committed because of this parental pressure and the society pressure. There is a child who was there, I mean, I was watching the particular clip and reading the article, and the child was saying that he was in an entrance coaching center and he said that I will be here, if I don't clear my entrance, I won't go back home. So which is very dangerous, you know, situation. So children should be counseled, parents also should be counseled, and we have to find out that so many options are available in the world. Everybody survives. Even a person like, you know, I mean, that's where we talk about two aspects. You know, one is skill-based school and second is qualification-based school. So I have known people who are from skill-based school. I have known people who are from qualification-based school, and both of them are doing well, and it's equally vice versa also is correct. Both of them are not even doing well also. So, I mean, parents should in no way, they can help the child out, but do not choose a career for them and give them a career.
Because in olden days, it was either engineer or doctor. That's why I started with MBBS. Okay, so there is a doctor, I can say doctor, okay, MBBS student to join us, to share his experience. Let us go for a short break, and that student will join us.
Okay.
ഒഴുകാമൊലിയായി തിരകളിലേറി മലയാളത്തിൻ മൊഴിയൊഴുകും വഴിയും ഒഴുകാമൊലിയായി തിരകളിലേറി മലയാളത്തിൻ മൊഴിയൊഴുകും വഴി പടരാം പവിഴക്കരയും താണ്ടി Radio Rang, color your life.
Welcome back to UniGrad Education Center away from campus. Here we have a medical student here, Jomon.
Jomon.
Let us ask him about his career. When did you choose your career in your life?
I can tell from an early 6th standard onwards, I knew for the fact that I need to do something in the medical field. And one of the major reasons was because of my mother. She is a staff at Salmania Medical Complex, and at that point of time I would not even know what she was talking to my father, but I know for the fact that I loved whatever she did. The way she would run and then talk about patients, see the happiness that the patients had. So I knew from early 6th standard that I need to do something in medicine. Yes, sir.
So actually she influenced you
A lot.
to choose MBBS.
Yes.
Okay. Where are you studying?
I study in Jinan University, Guangzhou, China.
China.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you choose China?
Choosing China was a range of emotional decision that was put together. Like we just heard, I studied till 12th standard in Bahrain, and I went to Kerala to do my entrance exam. So back in 2016 was when the unification of all entrance exams to NEET happened. So that is when, after finishing my Kerala entrance, I was pretty excited because I thought I would ace it. But then the unification happened, and that's when things started taking to a low break altogether. That is when I thought that probably this is not meant for me. I started feeling disappointed about myself. Apart from my parents, everybody else started having opinions on my life. Everybody else. Like, you probably cannot do medicine, it's not for you. And all my friends that I was with started getting admissions. So that was when I was like, just get me admission anywhere. And I knew that I did 1 week of biomedical engineering. I went and applied for 2 more other universities in India just out of desperation, just because I was badgered by a lot of people's thoughts, and my parents were the only ones who supported me. Then, because of a lot of misinformation about China, the wrong concept of going to study, oh, it's a fake university, you probably will not come back and work anywhere, said even by doctors whom I consulted, was the factor that I didn't even choose in the beginning. But then I did my research, and then I'm glad I did.
Okay. After 12th you have joined, or just did you repeat the entrance?
I did not repeat.
You
I
did
did
not
not
repeat.
want to spend that one more year.
Because September 13th is the NEET exam. So
Yes.
most of the children will be under pressure. So
Yes, ma'am.
what is your advice for them? Or because as I mentioned before, when
Yes.
we tell, it will be an advice.
Mm.
But when you tell, you are giving advice to your juniors. So what you have to tell them?
This is a point of time when you would be compared to a lot of people amongst your friends. At the same time, once your extended family comes in picture here, your focus should be crisp, and no matter how long it takes, you can do it. Make sure that you know what you want, because like how we just heard, don't take any profession out of compulsion, because that's the wrong way to do. I knew that I wanted to do MBBS, and I knew for the fact that I can do it. So I chose this. Although if you're planning to do medicine outside in countries like China, right now the rule is that you need to attempt NEET and get an eligibility for MBBS, which is something that all of us can do. It's just a little bit of hard work that we need to put.
Those who are writing the entrance for the first time, as soon as they finish grade 12, the pressure is comparatively less.
Okay.
But those who repeat, I cannot even imagine their stress.
Okay.
And second time. So just what about that experience?
Ma'am, surprisingly, I have there are a lot of Indians pursuing medicine outside India. And if you listen to their stories, they are the brightest students in their 11th and 12th standard, but because of the repeat courses, they can spend 1 year, 2 years, probably 3 years. I've got students who have done 3 years of coaching and still haven't gone through. So the misconception that it's only if you spend years in coaching that you can do MBBS is the wrong thing. It's just that if there is a mindset to sit in clear NEET, anybody can achieve it, be it with or without a coaching.
My son chose medicine.
Yes,
He is
ma'am.
doing his medicine in Philippines. So 4th year completed. I mentioned Malavika as Dr. Malavika.
Yes.
She is doing internship. So we can tell as we can address her Dr. Malavika.
Yes.
But you are also doing internship,
I'm doing my 5th year, ma'am.
5th year. So
Yes.
how many years in total?
So in my university, it's 5 years plus 1 internship. So technically, the title of doctor comes in at the internship phase when you
Okay.
start talking to patients.
Okay.
So Dr. Malavika is right for it.
Okay. Good.
So, I mean, it's not time to call till
I'm
Dr.
the
Jomon.
doctor in the making.
Oh,
No.
fine. I mean, something about Jomon on a personal note. Jomon is very passionate about what he does. He has been the head boy of the Indian school, and
Good.
and he led from the front, and he was passionate about being the head boy also. So there is passion in everything what you do. If you see cricket enthusiasts, if you see Sachin Tendulkar playing, the only thing he knows is that to hit the ball, and he hits it with perfection. Jomon is someone like that, who has that kind of passion, Jomon, I would like to throw some light on that, your head boy journey.
That I joined Indian school in my 9th grade, and I have friends in Indian school, probably like from church, and it's a school that is a celebrated school. And when I joined in, of course, there were a lot of people telling me about, no, don't do that, don't do this, just don't feel obligated to start anything in that school because that would pull you down. There was this 9th standard investiture ceremony where I saw one of my dear friends from church getting inducted as the head boy, and that triggered me. I was like, why should I take no for an answer? Why can't I do what he does? And I was sitting at the extreme end of Indian school auditorium where nobody would talk to me. Everyone would just be like, oh, he's from the new school. So when I started talking to people like, how do I do this? All the answer that I got was 4 years of experience. Now you're not going to get it. And I did mention this to my parents, and they were like, why not? It's like as if we can tell you no, because they could never, because they never stopped me to. That's one thing. My parents, the push that I got, and brilliant support from my teachers. Brilliant support. They were there from 9th grade. Teachers kept pushing me for anything, and yeah, I'm super glad I got that.
Okay. So the same way, the way he was passionately doing is around, he used to run around and get things done. I mean, at times he used to be a one-man army, but then he also had the power to marshal all the resources, get everybody together along with him.
Okay.
So maybe that is what has gone through his journey, because I have seen, his ups and downs, when he went towards, because we were in touch with him, and when he went towards the profession. And of course, but then he did it, and he has successfully run through with 5 years, So very soon, so wish you all the best for, and very soon we'll have Dr. Jomon coming to us. Maybe in the next few months down the line, we'll have another show.
Done.
When I discussed with him, okay, this time we can do something with career. Immediately, the next second, he told one of my students is here, and he is doing just medicine. So let us call him and let him talk to the juniors.
Right.
Okay. So you told that in grade 9 you have joined.
Yes.
Okay. So up to grade 8, where did you
I
study?
did my schooling in Asian School, Bahrain.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Then after that you came to grade 9.
Yes.
So regarding that also, just I am also a parent.
Yes.
Okay, and a teacher. Some students used to share with me that when they join in grade 9, it is very difficult to survive. So you were the head boy at that time. So regarding that, what is your experience in the beginning when you just changed the school?
Okay.
So what was the change?
For me, ma'am, moving to Indian school was a little comfortable because I had few of my seniors inclined to the school. However, in that 9th standard grade, I was completely new. I went with one of my friends from Asian school, directly. So the only thing was the only people that I could approach to, and I know that that was the right thing to do, was to talk directly to my teachers, tell them that I'm someone new here, because my classmates, I'm not supposed to be saying this, but I don't want to throw shade also, but at one point when a newbie comes in the class, everyone starts picking on the person, and I was clearly that person who was being picked on. But if you blame that to the school, that's not the right thing to do. It's just people, and if that is what is limiting everyone to change schools, it is not. The teachers are there, my parents were there, the authorities were there who made my transition very easily. So I did that.
And in that same school, he excelled and he went on to become the head boy of the school.
Okay. So it's very good. So to the juniors, you can tell that they don't have to worry, because usually after grade 8 they join in Indian school, Anand sir, most of the students. What is the reason for that?
There are various factors, because here higher education, many of the students do shift. Now of course the local transfer issues are there, now it's not possible. Otherwise there were a lot of shifting that used to happen in those days, not a specific reason as such, but then it is one of the largest school here in GCC.
Okay.
And we have teachers, very senior teachers who are very experienced here as such. Jovan, something related to your profession.
Yes.
As a doctor, apart from your earnings and everything, what is one passionate thing you would like to do for the society?
To give a voice to the people who are facing the similar problems that I am going through. That not just as a doctor, but at the same time someone who comes to me saying, I want to be someone like you who studied in a foreign country, got all the weird comments from a lot of people. So to give a voice to them, to show them that it is possible. Beside the fact is, you will have to come back, write your MCI exam. There's a lot of procedures to get a license from India. So as a doctor, I want to be a living example that it is possible and it can be done. That's to give a voice to all those who are not given a voice at the moment.
Very good. So wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So after grade 12 you left Indian school and
Yes.
joined for, okay. So this is a general question. Some of the parents used to ask, after grade 10 when they go to India, they won't be NRI student. But otherwise, is there any problem with the fees or anything with the fees issue? Because they have to pay more, they will be NRI students. Do you know something regarding that?
There are criteria actually.
Okay.
There is a difference in the fee structure if you are an NRI student.
Okay.
But then, shifting after 12th only for that, do not take a decision only from that perspective.
Yes.
Because there are so many other aspects to it, before you take such a decision.
Even for graduation courses, is it like that when they wanted to join in college based on their
It depends on the
qualification?
university. It depends on the university.
Depends. Otherwise, fee structure is different.
Yeah, different. It's not all the universities do that. It depends on the university. Some of the universities do not have this distinction of local students and NRI students.
Okay. When my son paid entrance examination, he told me the first comment, Amma, I did not focus grade 11. So what is your experience about that? Because grade 11 is very important. I heard from many students that grade 11 is very important.
Yes.
So after their grade 10, when they enter into grade 11, usually they just casually they take, those who are going for tuition, they won't go in grade 11. Okay, when they reach in grade 12, we can see that. So especially he mentioned about physics. All the subjects, but physics. So what is your experience?
I can tell you this, ma'am. When I applied for the agency for China, the one thing that they asked me was my 11th standard marks card, which was, they don't look at the point that it is off the roof amazing marks, but they just need a stronger mark in physics, chemistry, bio. So I'm not here to say 11th is important, 12th is important. If you're setting up for anything, at least have that 11th and 12th as your strong points.
The basics should be very strong.
Yeah.
So will it be benefited when they practice objective type questions when they start in grade 11? Because entrance examination is basically objective type questions. So if just as word by word, sentence by sentence, if they prepare well in advance about the objective questions, will it be helpful than entrance coaching?
Ma'am, the one thing that I realized when even I did my entrance coaching, I cannot learn a paragraph without learning ABCs. So if I don't know the basic, none of the objective questions would actually make sense. So I made sure that I knew the basics, then went and applied for it. In any exams actually.
So this is a good message to everyone out there. Learn your basics, then only proceed.
You told that biomedical engineering you have joined. So did you take maths in grade 12?
Yes, I took biomaths in grade 12.
Okay.
That was one combination that I took. Yeah.
My son also took mathematics in grade 11 and 12. But I think those who focus only in medicine, is it okay to take mathematics? Because some of them used to make the comment that I'll go join for engineering or medical. If they don't get the admission in medical, they will join engineering.
Okay.
So, Anand sir, what is your opinion about that? Because to choose a career, engineering field is totally different and medical field is totally different. So, if the child is not getting admission for MBBS, and then they can go for engineering.
When you take up science, the normal notion is in India is either a doctor or an engineer. Preference number 1 doctor, preference number 2 engineer. If you're not a doctor or an engineer, you are nothing if you're a science student. That is where commerce students have a hearty laugh, because they have a wide range of choices.
Yes.
But then I have personally a list of almost 110 courses with me available, which apart from being a doctor and engineer you can do. You are into paramedics, you can have, there are allied courses for engineering, there are allied courses for medicines, and a whole range of, as I was going through, suddenly I came across a new one, ceramic engineering. Ceramic engineering is something, which a normal BSc student can take up. I have a student, who was also, very much instrumental into MUNs and all that in the school. What he decided that he will not go for engineering. What he did is that he joined for BSc Physics, and his intention is to go for nuclear physics, that also for into research. So, and he is targeting Indian Institute of Science, not IIT. Indian Institute of Science is another option available, which many of us actually don't know that. So, which means, career options are available to the core. Environmental engineer, it's there. We have an earthquake engineering course. So, apart from that, there are a lot of, there was a student who was so happy that he did not get into engineering college. 3 years back, I met that child in Bombay. I was traveling to Pune and I met him, and 3 years back, and when we had a conversation, he said he's so happy that he did not get into engineering. Because he did not get into engineering, he joined Pune College, Ferguson College, and he is into forestry. He is doing his research into forest, and he said, I'm enjoying in the forest. And he has done a lot of research work. Maybe I'm very sure very soon, 1 or 2 books will be published about various that is there in or the vegetation that is there in forests, how to work on that. And he is also associated with an NGO which actually plants various trees in looking at the terrain conditions, in fact. And he was so happy that he did not get into engineering. So it's not just medicine, engineering. There is life beyond medicine and engineering also. Paramedical, a lot of options are available, and we have to explore that very much.
You should know the options.
Even in engineering also we have a lot of options, which there are certain seats which are empty in colleges because nobody opts for it, because many don't know about it.
Yes,
that's
very true. So there is a question here. Sanjay Krishnan Nambiar posted, what is the role being played by schools and career selection?
Well, it's a very good question, and in fact I want schools to play a very proactive role. Schools are the ones who actually guide and who instill in the students the dream of or their passion. It is the school's, the teacher's responsibility there. So the child should be exposed to various aspects of career. What is the career choice available? The school cannot select a career for a child. What the school can do is that the school can provide a dream for the child. It is a school that will provide a vision for the child. It is a school that will provide a way for the child can see where the child can stand in the future. The teachers, the peer group influence there, fundamentally the school has to influence the thinking, the school has to influence the child to think much beyond his capabilities and abilities. The school should help the child to identify what are his key areas and what are his abilities. That is the school's role, and that every teacher in the school has to do that.
So we were discussing about medical field. So there is a girl online, there is a student online. Yes, Rebecca Manoj. So let us hear from her.
Hi, good evening. So I chose humanities because I like social science more than any other subjects. That is why I chose humanities stream, and also I was under this impression that all the science children will have to face entrance exam, but I was completely wrong. No matter what stream you take, you'll always face one entrance exam, and you need to put equal effort for every subject you go for, every stream you go for. And psychology was one of my toughest subject in 11th and 12th, so that is when I started putting like a lot of extra effort in psychology, and I started liking having like a special interest or liking towards a subject. That's when I decided that I need to major in psychology. So after deciding this, the next confusion which I faced was like whether to choose BA psychology or BSc psychology. So I did like a lot of research, and I found out that BA focuses on the art background of psychology, whereas BSc will also have like a few science subjects. So I decided to go for BSc psychology because I wanted to go for clinical psychology. So after joining college, I found out that clinical psychology is not the only option available. Every field of work has a psychological profession related to it, like engineering psychology, forensic psychology, organizational psychology, evolutionary psychology, army psychology, sports psychology. There's like a lot of fields. So it's just not about like being a counselor or a psychology teacher or working in a hospital. There's like a lot of fields out, and then you just have to like choose which field you're like more passionate about and study according to that, and then you'll be able to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Well,
I was under the impression that when they choose humanities, it will be easy. And when we take science, it is very tough. That is a misunderstanding. I know each subject has its own difficulty. And after choosing psychology, what to do after taking psychology? That is a common question. Either end up the profession as a teacher or lecturer or a clinical counselor. I had the impression regarding that, and I spoke to her before she comes online. So she got very good marks in science and mathematics. So naturally all the teachers, family, relatives and all told that okay, you just go for science. She was very particular about humanities and very particular about choosing psychology. Anand sir, we were discussing about MBBS only, no? So regarding this psychology, when nowadays many children choose psychology. So
that is because now I'm very happy that Rebecca has done a lot of research into that, and she mentioned about two aspects: BA in psychology and BSc in psychology. That will entail her to go for BSc psychology, clinical psychology. And apart from being a clinical psychologist, there are so many other psychologists. Industrial behavior you study on to environmental behaviors. You also into the organizational behavior. So lot of aspects are there. It's so, this world is vast. True. You will find, if you just go through Discovery Channel and you see the work of those kind of people, and what is the kind of work which they are doing. They are in fact doing more work than what we do as in a regulated society. In fact, the kind of work and the kind of awareness they are spreading across, and that's where, we need to get into these kind of courses also. So I'm very happy that awareness is increasing fast, and children are getting into that. Very recently I came across a student who has joined as a life coach. Life coach is into motivational training. He has done his psychology and he is being a life coach. That's into motivational. Sports psychologists are playing a key role. And few years back I met across a child who actually was working with the psychologist with Chennai Super Kings. So the thing is, amazing profession they are into, and they can influence. There are speech therapists, when you join into BA psychology, BSc psychology, you can get into speech therapist. I have a student back in Bombay who took his Class 11th and 12th, he did his science and he was under tremendous pressure to perform in science. He somehow scraped through with the examination. Class 12 somehow managed. He went and joined in for BA English Literature. And you know that when somebody joins for BA, some subject like BA English Literature and all that, like, you know, how the society treats him, they said he is lost, his life is gone. Today, I mean, he had a stammering problem because of that, you know. I mean, because, you know, everybody used to make fun of him and all that, and he had developed a stammering problem. He went to a psychologist who dealt with his stammering problem, changed it. Today, he is one of the best teachers of the English language in Bombay. One of the best. And
That's a very good message.
as far as earning is concerned, he just does not earn, he mints money. I mean, even in this profession, like, you know, where he is one of the best teachers, he just does not earn, he mints money there. Sometimes money, the kind of money he earns, we cannot even imagine, because he into translations, he is into a lot of things that the language can taking about. Psychology is a subject today, has huge areas of, like, you know, which unexplored areas, and many of us which actually don't know into it. You know? And there are so many, that's why I said there are so many professions, so many courses where very few people have attempted it, because many of us don't know about
Don't
it.
know about it. And it's very difficult to get teachers in grade 11 and 12 for psychology.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Thankfully, our school has some of the best teachers in psychology. Like,
Okay, good. Anand sir, what is Anirudh doing?
Anirudh is into hotel management. He wants to be a chef.
Oh,
So he wants to.
okay. Being teachers, how did you accept it? The hotel management. Every profession is very noble profession, but usually teachers used to insist that, okay, in some other career.
Yeah.
So, did you influence him?
Of
in
course,
any
I
way?
tried to influence him, but he did not even listen to that. Actually, being like say, I am from the commerce background, you know, so I put across to him about chartered accountancy, about costing and all that. Like I said, you give the entrance examination and all that, because I'm into commerce, I can help you out in any way. But then he was very clear and determined what he has to do. So as a result, you know, then plus, you know, we did not influence him much into that effect, since ultimately it is his choice, it is his career, his passion.
Okay, that is
Tomorrow
very
he
good.
has to lead his life, you know. I may not be there throughout his life to lead it. So if he is passionate about his career, he will make his life in it.
Okay. Anand sir, there is a suspense for you. There is a surprise. Let us go for a short break.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Unigrad Education Center, away from campus. Hi Anirudh,
Hi teacher.
how
So
are you?
this was a surprise.
Anirudh, I was waiting for this career. Okay, when did you choose? When did you decide this to choose hotel management?
Thing is, I've always been passionate about cooking, and since 10th onwards, there was a subject for the 11th graders, home science, and for some reason I was always fascinated by it. I used to hover around the labs and I used to ask my mom, what's so special in there? What's going on in there? And she used to tell me they make various kinds of projects, they cook and all that. And I asked her if I could take humanities after 10th. And then my dad actually wanted me to pursue CA and CS, but I knew my accountancy wasn't my strong suit. So then I asked him, is there any other option? So he said, okay, you take commerce so that you have some kind of background in business studies and accountancy. And then after your graduation, after your 12th, you take up hotel management. And to be honest, that was probably a very good decision because after completing my first year, I needed both of the subjects, business studies and accountancy.
What are the subjects you have to learn in hotel management?
So, the thing is, it keeps varying after a year. So the first year we had accountancy, we had French, we had strategic management, and we also had property management. And the second year it became more technical, as in we had food production, advanced food production, and restaurant management. And now I'm currently doing my third year, so let's see how it goes.
Okay. There are exams?
Yes, there are exams. I had to, after completing my 12th, I had to give an entrance exam, which was on an all India basis. So I actually got the idea from a cousin of mine. He said that after you finish your 12th, apply for this, study for it, and then give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And I took his advice. After finishing my boards in March, I did some research. I got a book. Actually, my parents gave me the book. I got a book. I studied the book as much as I could, and then I gave an entrance. Thankfully, I got into the merit list, and they said I had to choose between different centers, and I had an option of choosing between Mumbai and Goa. So I wanted to try out something new and something away from home, get out of my comfort zone. So I chose Goa. So now I'm currently in IHM Goa.
Okay. Did you feel homesickness at that time?
While choosing, to be honest, I did not feel homesickness.
Okay.
And during my first year also, I didn't have much problem adjusting because I always wanted to get out and learn a little bit.
Okay. What's your plan in future?
My plan in the future, like immediate future, is to get a master's in the same field and then enter a very prestigious hotel or an international chain as a chef.
Okay.
And probably 5 to 6 years down the line, I'll move up the hierarchy chain and then hopefully I'll open something of my own, like a restaurant or a cafe.
When we choose hotel management, first the impression is many students, they wanted to join hotel management, but many parents won't allow like this. Okay, so what could be the reason behind that to choose?
The reason, I think there's a very big stigma around the term hotel management because many people think it's all about washing dishes, just sucking up to the customers. But there has been a mindset change. To be honest, my grandmother wasn't very fascinated by the idea of me going for hotel management because in her head all I had to do was chop vegetables. But in a way she was right. As a trainee, as a beginner, all I could do and all I had to do was chop vegetables and clean vessels. But if I keep doing that, if I keep doing my work efficiently, I can move up the hierarchy chain and I can actually do more. So
Anand sir,
Yeah.
just what do you have to tell about hotel management now?
Well, my idea is like, but I mean, since he chose hotel management, that is the time when me and my wife, we learned a lot about hotel management. In fact, we did research about a lot of colleges that cater to hotel management, where in Bombay or in other aspects of area. And then that is the time I realized that we have a national entrance examination for getting into hotel management courses, which is recognized by the government, and luckily he got into that courses, in fact. Now there are so many options available. You could be a food nutritionist, you could actually get into army, you could get into navy, you could get into the air force based on, as a food inspector or a food quality checker, or especially for army needs special people who can take care of the specific area related food, like we know that now how our soldiers are out there on the borders, so they need specific kind of food which has specific nutritional value. So that is managed by the various chefs all across, and army also do employs them. And not only that, he can get into a business of his own. And so hotel management is, by the way, hotel management is not just being a chef alone. Hotel management, various other aspects of hotel management also I have come across now. So that today's no profession is a stigma now. Everything has its own importance. The only thing is that we have to find out, we have to come out of a mindset. Like, it was very difficult for me to convince my family. Like, my mom also, could never be convinced, and she was always asking, why this profession, why this profession. But then I convinced her, in fact, more than me, he convinced her, and then, that is how it went across, And so I have no regrets and all that. Like, I wanted him, I just gave him the option because I'm into commerce, and because somewhere I had a liking to be a CA, I wanted him to pursue that, but he did not, and then of course he chose his career. And there are so many students who have come across and who said, let us take up this profession or hotel management because it is easy. Nothing is easy. Nothing comes on a platter. You have to work for it, and it will come. But then the stigma attached with certain professions or certain courses have to be removed. Then only it can be very beneficial.
Yesterday when I went for walking, I met him on the way. So suddenly I got an idea, okay, today is the episode for career. So why can't he come with a different career? Hotel management is totally different field. One of the parents asked me, what are the subjects they have to learn in hotel management? So such parents, such students, his words will be helpful definitely. Otherwise, we are having an impression that, okay, what we'll do after taking hotel management, what we'll do after taking psychology. So every field when they choose, if they are very excellent in that field, if they have skills in that field, aptitude is there, they will excel.
I will give you another example. There was a student here back in India, like I'm here, and in the Indian school, and I had personally taught that student. It was very difficult. He was in commerce. It was very difficult for him to study commerce, especially accountancy, business studies and all that. Nothing is to get to his head. He somehow managed to scrape through, and somehow luckily he passed 12th standard. His passion was photography. He went to Mumbai, learned photography. Today is one of the best photographers in Mumbai circle. Not only that, now he is planning to release, he has taken a lot of photographs. He is going to specialize into a certain area of photography. He said, very soon he'll be arranging an exhibition of that. That's one. There's another student who chose humanities, went to US only to do photojournalism, and which is, surprising. And today, that child, when she has done a photojournalism and she has come back, she has a lot aspects. In fact, she is doing research into that now. So that's another area which is opened up. So we have the career options are huge. It is for us to explore. Let us not get limited to a certain aspect of career alone. It is huge.
The basic thing is, many of us are not aware of this, especially with the elder ones. When the younger ones comes into that position, we will be experienced. But especially with the elder ones, it is very difficult. We won't be aware of that. And when we communicate like this, when we attend many workshops, we will come to know that, okay, these are the different careers in this world, and we can go for that. Otherwise, no, just teacher, girls, okay, either teaching or that bank. They have to, because for the family's sake, it is good. Just to be a teacher or work in a bank. Yes, sir, there is a question here. Just Balamani Tamban posted. How can one find the best career on this competitive world where the unpredictability is predominant?
A very good question. There is nothing like a best career. Some of the best careers have turned into disasters also. Nothing like a best career. My circle, there is a person, he was 1 year senior to me in college. He wanted to be a chartered accountant. He was passionate about it. But somewhere something was lacking. He wrote the exams, the final examination I'm talking about. Somehow he managed to clear his entrance, IPC, the finals. Finals also, the second group. He wrote once, did not clear, wrote twice, did not clear. He wrote it 8 times. The patience he need to have to write an examination 8 times, that was a CA final examination 8 times, is astonishing. But today he is an established CA and he has almost 600 to 700 staff working with him all spread across India. That is the kind of chartered accountant he is, So it is, you cannot say in this competitive world how to find the best career. Anything can be the best career. I have a friend who stopped all these careers, he went into business, he's doing well into business. I have a friend, just a few months back, he started a shop, through an agency, which is a franchisee, just to sell tea. By the way, he is a graduate. Just to sell tea, he started a franchisee. It was doing well. Unfortunately, the pandemic struck at that time. Now he is all held up and he is all waiting for the next, as soon as things open up, he will be on his own. So things, when you say a best career, there is no guarantee about any career. There is no 100% guarantee that this career is the best or this career may not do well. Options. And how are you in your career? How passionate you are in your career? There are people who make a living out of writing. There are people who make a living out of speaking. There are people who make a living out of translations. So many career options are available. So when I say how to make a best career, go for the various options available. Try out those options also, find out. It's okay sometimes a child loses 1 year. It's absolutely fine. He doesn't qualify, as you said initially, entrance examination once he wrote and could not qualify. It's fine, absolutely fine. The perseverance, the patience what you need to have, that could take you to heights. That may be necessary. So when you say that, which is the best career, there's no ready-made formula. Any career can be the best. Some of the people who, have their business, they make good careers also. Some of the people who are into a profession, they make very good careers also. So there is no guaranteed success or lack of success for any particular career as such.
Okay, so Anirudh, you decided to take hotel management, then taking CA.
Yes.
So there is a call, Shreya Nair. She has taken CA.
Shreya is a CA.
Hello everybody, I am Shreya Premnath Nair, an ex-ISB student. First and foremost, I hope everybody is healthy and safe at home. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this initiative where students of our school who have branched into various career paths give a glimpse of how their journey has been in their respective careers, and I can't wait to share mine. I graduated from Indian School Bahrain in 2014 and I straight away jumped into the Chartered Accountancy course. And the reason why I joined CA is still unknown to me. To be very honest, it was an impulse decision. It was an overnight decision. I had no role model, nobody to tell me what I will be getting into, and to a certain extent I'm very happy that I didn't have that, so that I would not have had any preconceived notions and I could just walk into it blindly and see for it myself. So yes, I did get into it in the year 2014. So as most of you might know, there are 3 levels to it: the CPT, IPCC and the final. So CPT was good and IPCC is definitely a bigger piece of the cake. So again, another great experience where we actually dive into the real professional part of the course. And post that is where the real course started, where I stepped into the industry level as part of my articleship, or the internship as they may call it also. And I got to meet industry professionals and understand how this profession works. And that was one of the biggest learning experiences of my life. I got to meet so many people, so many experienced people, and get a lot of knowledge out of them, and build a very, very good network of people who guide me throughout every step of my career till date. And so that was one of my most exciting parts of the course, that is the articleship. And then comes the dreaded final course, which definitely is considered as one of the toughest parts. And I cleared my CA in November 2018 attempt, that is last year's attempt. And I took in total 3 attempts to clear it. And I would say it boldly that yes, I didn't complete it in the first attempt. And for the very first time in my life, I actually faced a failure, which is one of the best learning experiences I could ever get. Failure is something that failure teaches you so much, which I never realized. As a student in school, I was good in studies and I never got to see that aspect. And being and facing it very early on in my career really helped me become mentally strong. So yes, my journey into CA started with no expectations. I just took life as it came and passed the hurdles and tried to get as strong as possible with each step. So for all of you out there, to sum it up, the course is not tough. It just depends on how you perceive it. In terms of curriculum, yes, it's very vast. It takes a lot of effort to grasp everything. But finally, it is your mental strength, your ability to handle stress and the ups and downs, and that's what matters at the end of the day. And so long as you can boldly face it and never worry about the word failure, I think everything will be great. And all I can say is you have to be ready for anything, because the big bad world begins once we step out of our homes. And I hope all of you make the best use of your school life. You have a wonderful set of teachers, and whatever I am today, I owe it to each and every teacher in Indian School Bahrain. Today, if I can stand tall, strong and very bold, it is because of the guidance that I've received from school. And I will be forever indebted to all the teachers of ISB. So I wish each and every student the best of luck. Enjoy your school life. That is, I think, the most glorious time that you can ever get. Enjoy and definitely study well. Wishing each and every student all the very best for the future. And I hope this video, this message has helped in guiding you for your future careers. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Okay. Since it is related to CA, Anand sir, could you please explain about each and every step? When they do grade 11 and 12, is it possible to write one of the exams? I heard like that. Before it was not like that. After BCom, right?
No.
Before, after.
No, that's. Anyway, I'll just come to that.
Okay.
Talking about Shreya, Shreya has been a very passionate student. Like, I mean, when Joman was here, speaking about passion, same way, Shreya is like a very passionate student.
Okay.
And from Shreya's batch, a chunk of students, like, a very good group of students, like, they have entered CA, many of them have completed it. So Shreya belongs to that particular group. And Shreya is a passionate dancer also. Oh. She is into Bharatanatyam and she dances also very well. But then, I don't know now how she has balanced her hobby and her profession. But then she has done it and she has done all of us very proud. So thing is, CA being CA is one of the challenging examinations which you face. You cannot do CA when after 10th or after 11th. You need to do it only after 12th standard. You can write an entrance examination, get into chartered accountancy, or after your graduation without the if your graduation you have minimum 55%, you get into chartered accountancy, you can directly join it. So, but then we suggest always after 12th standard, write the entrance, get into that. And we also suggest students that, along with your CA, please join for a regular graduation program also, because some of them, those who start with CA, some of them may not pursue CA and complete it. So in that case, they can pursue with the graduation and complete that way. The thing is, it's a very challenging examination. You have the foundation, you have IPCC, then you have articleship, and then you have finals. And it's a group based. You have to clear that particular group. So if you fail in that group, the total marks don't qualify. You'll have to repeat that entire group again. And not many who clear in the first attempt. Very few people who clear in the first attempt. So same with CA. This cost entrance exam, costing examinations, and then which we call it as ICWA or CS company secretaryship. All these entrance examinations happen after 12th standard. I had a friend, Girish, way back in my college. He wrote all the 3 entrance examination. He cleared all the 3 entrance examination. He pursued all the 3 together, CS as well as costing. And he cleared his CA, he cleared his, all the papers of CA, he cleared his costing. He was doing his company secretaryship in the final year, and he was working with the audit firm, and that was doing some audit work with Bombay Stock Exchange. Unfortunately, during the Mumbai blast, he was there and he was caught up, and we lost a prodigy. He was exceptionally brilliant in that, but he knew how to balance all the 3 together. So for commerce students, this is one area. By the way, CA is open for all students. You need not only be a commerce student. That's a myth and there is a misconception. So we will actually take it out, it's open for all. There are a lot of BSc students who do up CA, who come and go ahead and do CA. So that is also possible.
Okay. So each and every step you cleared very well. The same pressure is there, those who are taking CA. So you told along with the regular course BCom, they can pursue CA also. And do you feel to take like that? Is it possible to take CA parallelly when he studies hotel management?
Yeah, you can do that. But then he will not go for that, and he has found his passion, Okay. So we don't want to force anything upon him.
Not about him. Yeah. Why did I tell us? One of my classmates, she's taken BSc mathematics with us, and after that she joined in joined for CA. And in her just 29 years she cleared that. So we used to make fun of her. We all got married, we got children, and you will be completing CA along with our children. So that was the long journey.
That's what I said. Now I have a friend who's an 8th attempt CA. The patience he had. In fact, I had another student who was very good in badminton. Shreya's batch or previous to Shreya's batch. He was very good in badminton, but unfortunately he left CA halfway through. Because he could not, after clearing one group, he said, this is not my cup of tea,
So there are many questions. So there will be one more episode related to this. So many area we can cover. So what all are their doubts? So just I prefer parents and students to post their questions well in advance on that Radio Rank page, so that we can come up with a solution. Because you have lot of knowledge about this.
That's what you pursue. It's about information, because this is the age of information. We need to have the correct information, so at least we can put it across to students. But then I would like to focus, maybe because of lack of time we are not continuing this time, I'd like to focus upon a particular Japanese terminology, ikigai, which talks about selection of career, how you select a career and what basis. And that's one of the most wonderful technology which I have come across about career selection. And our children, our parents need to know that what is ikigai and how it can be. It's a Japanese terminology, and it's a Japanese, I call it as a technology. And when I was reading through that and was understanding it, I was applying to all the people, those who had success in their career options, career selection. When I applied to each and every aspect, every person of that, I could find that technology actually really worked. So we will be discussing about that technology, and actually unfortunately we had 2 other professions. Law was one profession, and we had a student across who is a law student, but unfortunately we cannot take it because of lack of time. We had also had another passionate yoga teacher, who from Mumbai, who took up yoga as a passion and then went on to. So since we don't have time, we'll be taking it up in the next session.
Yes.
So let's hope, and we will be speaking on this aspect of ikigai also.
Yes. We can continue one more session. And Anirudh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joman, Dr. Malavika and Ms. Shreya Nair. Okay, so we just spoke about CA, hotel management.
Rebecca also, we need to thank
Rebecca,
Rebecca.
psychology. Thank you, Rebecca. Psychology, so different aspects. The same way, and parents also getting an idea how to do that. Even students also getting an idea. So it's worth watching. So now anyway, time up. So let us conclude. So job satisfaction is everyone's important aspect in our life. There are many ways to choose right career according to our skills. Dream big, aim high, set your goals and take measurable steps to achieve it. To help you to achieve your goal, UniGrad Education Center away from campus is with you on every Friday at 7 p.m. Stay tuned and see you next Friday. Thank you and good night.